I hope we're all doing well today. If you can hear me and I'm audible, please type in a yes into the chat. If you can hear me clearly, type in a yes into the chat. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks a lot for that, Temitope, Dami, Wellington. So amazing to have people joining us today. Now, before we get started, if you have any friends, colleagues, family members, somebody you know would benefit from today's session, send a message to them, get them into the call. We're going to have an amazing, amazing time today. I'm going to show you two major things. Number one, how to get a high-paying job within the tech ecosystem. So first of all, we'll demystify the tech ecosystem, understanding clearly the strategy you need to put in place to selecting the right career path. And the main meat of our session would center around how to navigate the interview process and answering the question, what are your salary expectations? So you know somebody that can benefit, send a message to them, get them on board before we get cracking today. Now, I would like to know where you're joining us from, okay? I reside in Alberta, Canada. So type into the chat where you're joining from. Wellington is joining from United States, Temitope from Lagos, Nigeria, Oluwatoyin from the UK. And this is the amazing, amazing opportunity you get to have virtual sessions like this. You have people joining from all around the globe, getting to learn at the comfort of your home. Abosede is joining from the UK. I can see the UK flag, Abosede. All right, so we're going to get started, and I'll drive the session today sharing my slides, okay? Oyin joining from Calgary, just right behind, just at my backyard, Oyin. So good to have you all join us today. Now let's get into the main meat of our session. Like I said, today we'll focus on landing a high-paying job. Which career path do you need to focus on? And then I'll take you down a journey on how to negotiate your salary and why the interview process is one of the most important parts of your job application stage or your job searching stage eventually. Now, before we start, let's do a little bit of introductions. Who are we at Tenalytics and what are we all about? Tenalytics is one of the leading educational technology companies focused on helping Africans in Africa, Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And one of the ways we do this is by lowering the entry barrier into the ecosystem, providing you with premium technical training and also employability skills. Over the last 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people make that transition from the classroom to getting their first jobs across the UK, the US, Canada, across Europe, Africa, and so on and so forth. And we specifically focus on 8 key career paths. And I'll tell you the reason why we focus on 8 key career paths, from data analytics to business analysis, data science, cybersecurity, project management, and agile project management and Scrum, data engineering, and so on and so forth. One of the things we pride ourselves on is on the ability to attract and train you by the best in the industry. Our facilitators are the best in the industry, currently working and have worked with some of the biggest companies across the globe. So you're learning from the best who would get you to that stage and position that you want to get into. And that's what we are all about at Tenalytics. And for me today, leading your session, my name is Adeza. I'm a technology expert with a decade years of experience across data analytics and management consulting. I'm the founder of Tenalytics and co-founder of Amdari, two brilliant tech, related companies. And I've helped over 2,500 people leveraging the platform of Tenalytics and Amdari to help people that look like me also make that transition into the tech ecosystem. I've worked as a data science consultant for companies in the UK and the US, a data analyst for one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa, and also as a data analytics consultant. And my experience cuts across 5 different sectors, from energy to sports to financial services, automobile, educational technology, and so on and so forth. And I'll be sharing my experience with you today. So like I said, you know somebody that should be here, share the message with them, get them on board, and let's get cracking. All right, so let's jump into the four major areas we're going to cover. Apart from the fact that I've highlighted what we're going to look at, we'll also look at key aspects relating to landing a high-paying tech job. So what are the career paths that are in demand and the average salaries for these career paths? We'll also look at strategies for negotiating your salaries. Like I said, that will be the main crux, the crux of our session today. And I would introduce you to our upcoming program starting on the 5th of October, 2024. And finally, for those who stay till the end, I'll show you the amazing offer we have for you. All right, so let's get started. Now, one more quick exercise before we start. If you are joining us for the first time, type in a 1 into the chat. So this is your first analytics session, first tech series, first masterclass. Type in a 1 into the chat. Okay, Adebenga is joining us for the first time. So let's see. Okay, Adebayo, more newcomers. Abraham, you're all welcome. You're all welcome to the session today. We're expecting more people to join. Okay, so Abraham, Adebayo, Adebenga, we're expecting more people to join. Share the link, share the message, get people on the call, and let's have an amazing time. So where are the opportunities? That's the question a lot of people always ask. Adeza, I want to transition into the tech ecosystem. I'm not entirely sure where I should start. What career path should I look at? And I always tell people that, look, when selecting or making one of the most crucial decisions of your life, making a transition into a new career path. So you've moved from your previous location, you lived in Nigeria, you live in Ghana, you live in Cameroon, you live in South Africa, but you've moved to the UK, you've moved to Canada, you've moved to the US, and it's time for you to make a career pivot. Majorly because you want to get yourself into a career path that has good projections, fantastic salaries. You can't make that decision based on what people say, which is the mistake a lot of people make. Everybody is diving into product management, and you want to also go there because that's where everybody's rushing to. You need to take a step back and identify the career path that are number one, in demand, number two, would stay relevant over the next 5 to 10 years. You don't want to get into a career path just to realize that in the next 5 years, you're going to be out of work because AI is going to replace your job, or your job will become redundant. And these are the key aspects you need to look at. So I'm going to walk you through how we at Analytics ensure that for all the programs we offer and for everybody who joins our program, we enable them make the best decision possible, leveraging data and the analysis that we have carried out. So what we do at the end of every year, end of 2020, end of 2021, 2022, 2023, we scrape data from the major job boards. Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, Total Jobs, ZipRecruiter, and so on and so forth from the major economies. So we scrape this data and we analyze the data to see the job roles that are most in demand or have been highly requested for by HR consultants, organizations over the last 1 year. So if you look at a particular job role and you see so many organizations trying to hire for that role, it's clear that that particular job role is in demand. So we do this analysis, scraping data from the major job boards across 3 major economies, the UK, the US, and Canada. All right. Now, we juxtapose that data across 3 major criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, high and rewarding salary. There are so many career paths that are fantastic, that are in demand. However, not all career paths are easy to learn. And let's take a very quick example. If you're a blockchain engineer today, you're not likely going to look for a job for more than a month and you'll get an opportunity. If you're an AI researcher, you won't look for a job for more than a month before you get an opportunity. There are so many career paths like that. but are they easy to learn? For you to become a blockchain engineer, it will take you about two years of dedicated learning and intentional focus on learning the skills and getting what you need to become a blockchain engineer. So it's not easy to learn. So we don't focus on those areas. The areas we focus on are what? The career path that are easy to learn, in the sense that you can learn within the space of 3 to 5 months. So if I dedicate 3 to 5 months of my life trying to learn a new skill, I can pick up this skill, apply to a job, and get a job. It doesn't matter my previous experience. I could have worked in the bank. I could have worked as a customer service professional, but I can learn the skill within the space of 3 to 5 months and get a job. So that was one major criteria we looked at. The second was ease of transitioning. Are these career paths in demand? Of course, we had established that from the analysis we had done. But how easy is it to transition? Imagine you've worked all your life, or you moved to the UK. In Nigeria, you worked as a banker. You moved to the UK, but now you work as a customer service professional or as a care worker. You have a different experience entirely. How easy would it be for you to transition from that career path, your previous career path, into a new career path? Okay, so we looked at that as well, ease of transitioning. So we looked at career path that are skill-based. Once you learn the skill, you are able to build experience by working on projects. You can get that job. And the third criteria we looked at is high and rewarding salary. So yes, I've moved into this career path. Now the next question is the remuneration fantastic? Okay, can I get a job? If I get a job, do I have a competitive salary per annum when I look at my counterparts in other career paths? And these were the three major criteria we looked at. Somebody's asking if I can ask a question. So you can drop your question in the chat. Let me see who that person is. Sandra. Sandra, feel free, drop a question in the chat. I'll pick from time to time, but the main Q&A will be at the end of the session today because of time, so we can manage time effectively and don't have to stop at different intervals to take questions. But I'll tailor my session to some of the questions I see. So feel free, drop your question in the chat, Sandra, and I'll pick it. So looking at these three criteria, the analysis we had done, the different career paths that are in demand, we came up with 8 different career paths that would enable you land a job the fastest. If you want to get a job the fastest, you get a job within this career path, and you would also remain relevant over the next 5 to 10 years. So you can rest assured that these career paths, you'd stay relevant, you can move from one industry to the other. Like I said, I have moved from financial services. That was where I started my career. I moved from financial services, I moved to energy, the energy sector. Now, guess what? I was a data analyst in the financial services sector, helping banks in the banking industry, insurance companies, the capital market players, helping them analyze their data, make sense of the data. That was what I did predominantly in the financial services sector. And then I moved to energy, where it was a different ballgame entirely. I worked in the power sector, in the power industry, when I moved to energy, where I worked for an organization that generated electricity, supplied electricity, distributed electricity to customers as well. So how did I move or transition from the financial services to energy? And that's the opportunity and the amazing thing of being in any of these career paths. The skills you've learned, the tools you can use, excel in Nigeria, excel in financial services, is excel in the energy sector, is excel in the power industry. The only difference was I needed to learn about that particular industry. So I was very versatile in the financial services sector, but I knew nothing about energy. But I was able to get that job because I had worked on energy-related projects. And I'll come back to this. When people talk about experience, oh, I don't have experience, oh, I've learned data analytics and I want to apply to a job. The job requires 2 years experience. How do I apply to that job when I don't have 2 years experience as a data analyst? You don't need to have 2 years experience. All you need to do is to work on projects related to that specific sector. So I had projects in my portfolio. I applied, I got the job, and I only needed to learn about the industry to perform on my role. And that's the same way. This career path gives you the ability to move from industry to another industry. And I'll show you from some of the success stories we have on my slides today. So 8 career paths to focus on. The business analyst career path. You want to get the job the fastest. You want to get a job where you remain relevant within the job market. You want to be a business analyst. You want to be an agile project manager or a scrum master. You want to be a data analyst. You want to be a data scientist, a data engineer, a cybersecurity analyst, a financial analyst, or a HR analyst. So these are the 8 different career paths we came up with based on the 3 criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, high and rewarding salary. But this was our analysis in-house. We said, okay, let's go out there and let's see, do we have any other reputable organization that have built, analyzed, and talked about something similar to the analysis we have done? And we went ahead to seek for that external validation. And one of the reports we looked at, and I would implore every single person who wants to make a transition today to read this report. It's the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. So since 2016, the World Economic Forum have been reporting the future of jobs since 2016. So every 2 years, 2016, 2018, 2019, I'm not sure they released some in 2020 because of COVID. So this report, the latest report, came out in 2023. So by 2025, we'll have another report. Okay. Now, what do they do? The World Economic Forum looks at the direction of the economy. Where's the future of work going? If you want to get if you're in a particular career path and you need to pivot into something else, or you need to add skills to become more relevant, this report shows you clearly the career path that will grow in demand and the ones that will decline in demand. So at the left-hand side, you have the career path that will grow. At the right-hand side, you have the career path that would decline. And I was a bit interested, I was a bit also marveled at some of the career path that will decline, because I know so many people that even as of today, they're trying to move into those career paths. One of them is training and development specialists. If you look at this, so if you're a HR professional, for example, you're in training and development, your role is going to be replaced. Your role is going to remain, is going to become redundant in the nearest future. So what do? Product managers. A lot of people want to get into product management today. It's a fantastic career path, right? However, these are career paths that are currently declining and would keep on declining in the coming years. So how do you make a decision to move into a career path in 2024, especially a career path that will decline in demand? And that's why I said this is very important for you to look at. So we validated the analysis we had done using this report, and we could clearly see the career path that we're going to grow in demand. And I'm going to highlight them very quickly to you before we jump into, the main meat of our session today. So number one is AI, machine learning specialist, business intelligence analyst, data analyst, or data scientist. So if you find yourself, which all these roles I just highlighted are either data analyst or data scientist. If you're an AI and machine learning specialist, you are a data scientist. You're a data science. If you're a business intelligence analyst, you're a data analyst. If you're a data analyst or data science, so these career paths all align to the data analyst, data science career path, and you want to be there. We are generating data at an exponential, unprecedented rate. Organizations are looking for professionals to help them analyze that data and make sense of that data, and that's where you come in. So if you want to find yourself getting a job, in the next few months, after completing, learning the skills, doing all the right things, in the next couple of months, you want to get a job, you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in the UK, you're across Europe, you want to become a data analyst, a data scientist, a business intelligence analyst, and so on and so forth. All right. You have the information security analysts, and these are your cybersecurity professionals. So you can protect the systems, protect the network, and protect the data of organizations. You won't struggle to get a job. Okay. You also have the big data specialists, the data engineers, and the database architects. These are the people that manage and store the data and make data easily accessible in organizations. And these are your data engineers. The data engineers get that data, they store the data, they manage the data, they make the data easily accessible. So if you work in an organization like Twitter, for example, X, where data is generated every second, where do you think that data is stored? How do you think that data moves across the organization? Okay, the data engineers are responsible for building that data architecture to move data around, manage that data, irrespective of the size of that data. That's why you'd see some of their job title as big data specialists. You'd see the job title as database architects. They build the architectural framework to manage that data. You also have the process automation specialists. And these are professionals who do what? They go into organization, look at the business processes, and make the process more efficient. They find ways to automate the process, to remove redundancy, to close the gaps, the manual processes or the manual activities, close them up to make the process more efficient. And these are your business analysts. Okay, so just to summarize again, if you find yourself as a data analyst, data scientist, cybersecurity professional, data engineer, business analyst, you can't struggle to get a job. According to the World Economic Forum, your career path would keep on growing in demand in the coming years. And this also aligns with the analysis we carried out. Now, you also have your project managers, but not the conventional project managers. Not project managers that focus on the waterfall methodology, but project managers that leverage the agile methodology and the Scrum framework to deliver on projects. So you look at the agile project manager, you look at the Scrum master, and these are the professionals that will keep on being in demand because the tech ecosystem is where the opportunities are. And the agile project managers are the project managers that work within the tech ecosystem, delivering products, leveraging the agile methodology, the Scrum framework, and so on and so forth. You have the database and network professionals who are also your data engineers, cybersecurity professionals. You have the financial analysts, all right? And of course, you also have your supply chain and logistics specialists. You'd find the data analyst in supply chain. You'd find the data scientist in the supply chain space as well. Now, these are jobs that are growing in demand. And one other career path that is very interesting that you'll find declining are the accountants. If you look at the right-hand side, remember, the right-hand side is where you have jobs that are declining in demand. So you have the accountants and auditors as one of the career paths that will decline in demand. And it was very interesting to me. So as an accountant today, how do you stay relevant in the job market? You must add data analytics skills. You must do what? Add data analytics skills to your accounting skills, your accounting knowledge. And this is where you can move from the right-hand side to becoming a financial analyst or somebody who knows how to use data, analyze data, especially data that are financial related or financial records. So you could be at the right-hand side currently, but move to the left-hand side by simply upskilling, picking up data analytics skills, data science skills, adding it to your skills, and then you become more competitive in the job market. So 8 career paths, fantastic career path. I'll list them again one more time before we go to the average salary. Number 1, you have the data analyst. you have the data scientists, you have the data engineers, you have the financial analysts, the HR analysts, the agile project manager, the cybersecurity professionals, and finally, you also have, I'm not sure which one I've not mentioned right now. I think that's the agile project manager, scrum master. Okay, so 8 different career paths, and you want to find yourself in one of these career paths. And as a data analyst, you also earn amazing salaries. Okay, you compete for the best jobs available. And a lot of people always make this very wrong assumption that, oh, everybody wants to become data analysts. So I think I'm going to go somewhere else because I think it's overcrowded or it is saturated. So because you know 1, 2, 3 people or 5 people that also want to become data analysts, people wrongly assume that it is overcrowded. But guess what? Because of the demand for data analysts, more people want to become data analysts. And I always ask this question. Imagine you want to get into a very highly skilled career path. The benchmark for you to get in would be very, very high. Imagine you want to become a robotics engineer, for example. Yes, you can, but you have to go back to school, do a master's, and try to get into some of the top, biggest organizations and find it very difficult. So the successful people you'd find, 5% are successful and they get into those companies. So robotics now seems, because you don't have so many people going in there, it seems like it's something attractive. But guess what? The barrier to entry becomes very, very high. So you want to get into that career path where every day you have 400 job roles on LinkedIn posted for the data analyst. You can apply to that job, compete, position yourself, have the fantastic CV. You're attractive to employers and you get the opportunity. Okay. And I'll show you some of the ways you can do this. All right. How to position yourself, ensure that you separate yourself from the competition entirely. And data analysts in the UK would earn an average of about £40,000. In Canada, over 64,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, about 72,000 US dollars. The data scientist earns higher than the data analyst, about £55,000 per annum in the UK, close to 6 figures, 94,000 Canadian dollars in Canada, and 6 figures right off the bat for data scientists in the US at about over 121,000 US dollars. You have the data engineers who earn more than the data analysts and the data scientists. So in the UK, you have about £65,000. In Canada, about 102,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, about 134,000 US dollars. So you get to see that the data engineers earn a bit higher for 2 major reasons. Number one, data engineers are not always readily available in the job market because of the barrier to entry. You must learn how to code. You can't run away from coding and be a data engineer. You must code. You must learn how to use Python, learn different libraries in Python. You must learn how to script in Linux for your bash scripting and so on and so forth. So because of this, SQL as well, we learn SQL, the 3 major areas of SQL, DML, DQL, and DDL. I'll break this down as I move on. So you can't run away from coding as a data engineer. And that's why you won't see so many people going in there. And because you don't have as many resources trying to get into those roles, employers attract people with what? High salaries. So you learn the skill, you position yourself, you get a job where you earn 134,000 in the US, over 65,000 in the UK, and so on. The business analyst would earn about £52,000 in the UK, 74,000 Canadian dollars, and about 85,000 US dollars. The HR analyst, about £38,000, 71,000 Canadian dollars, 62,000 US dollars. The financial analyst would earn about £51,000, 69,000 Canadian dollars per annum. In Canada, 74,000 US dollars. And you get to see a common trend. You get US tends to pay higher. So you find same role, same responsibilities, but the US would pay higher for that same, opportunity. And that's why you'd see a lot of people applying to get remote jobs working for companies in the US. The Agile project manager, £53,000 per annum. In the UK, 97,000 Canadian dollars, 120,000 US dollars. And the cybersecurity professionals, finally, you have £57,000, 140,000 Canadian dollars. So 6 figures right off the bat as well, and 105,000 US dollars. Okay, so these are the career path and the salaries. Where does the health sector stand? The health sector is one of the highest recruiters of all these roles I've just listed. All right, the health sector is one of the highest employers of data analysts, business analysts. At analytics alone, and looking at the UK, the NHS has hired over 55 analytics alumni that we have records of. 55, over 55, just from one organization in the UK, the NHS. And the NHS is, of course, in the health sector. So you have the health sector hiring one of the best employers when it comes to these type of opportunities. So the question is, Adeza, how can I get into these roles? How can I become a data analyst? Have people done it before? And absolutely, it always seems impossible until somebody has done it. Okay, and I'm going to share some success stories. I'm not going to bore you. I'll play one video and then I'll talk about a few other people. You're going to get the slides at the end of today's session. So you'd have the opportunity to listen to them and get to read about their story. They joined the masterclass like you have joined today. At the end of the masterclass, they signed up for the training. And at the end of the training, their internship, they got a job. And I'll talk about how they were able to get these jobs and the role that we played in helping them get the job. So first, you have Ngozi Aderemi. Ngozi lives in the UK. She's worked as a customer service professional. She's worked in HR before. She's done care. She's worked as a care worker, as a support worker in the UK before she joined our business analysis program. Within the space of 4 months, she completed her classes, 3 months of class, 2 months of classes, 2 months of internship, 4 months altogether, and she was able to land the job as a business analyst in the UK, working remotely, lives in Huddersfield, doing an amazing job as a business analyst, from customer service to support work, to care work, to HR. She's currently a business analyst, and you get to hear from Ngozi. Okay, so she spoke about how she was able to transition after so many efforts trying to get a job. So you're going to listen to her. You have somebody like Ololade. Ololade joined us sometime last year, about a year now. In August last year, she joined us, the data science program. And Ololade's objective was to do what? To move to Canada through the permanent, she got to move to Canada as a permanent resident, putting in her application. And one of the things she did was leverage analytics. She completed her data science program with us, and we wrote her referral. We also put in references for her, and she leveraged analytics as her place of employment to become a permanent resident. Ololade moved to Canada this month in September, and this is Ololade sending me an email on the 19th saying, "Dear sir, this is Ololade. I would like to appreciate your help with the referral for my Canada PR application. It is with great joy that I would like to inform you that my application was successful and I'm now a PR holder. May God Almighty continue to bless you and uphold Tenalytics." So this is Ololade, who at this time last year, she had no clue what was going to happen. She joined the data science program. We were in the process together. We worked with her, completed the training, and we put in references during her application. And today, she's in Canada, in Alberta, as a permanent resident. You have Bukola. Bukola also joined our data science program. All right. She completed her training and internship in January this year. And Bukola also secured a job in June this year as a people data scientist, and Bukola is in Poland. So I'm going to play a very quick video for you. I want you to listen to Ngozi. All right, very quickly, it's about 1 minute, and then we move into the rest of our session today. So let's listen to Ngozi and let's hear what she has to say about her journey into becoming a business analyst. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and my sound so that you can hear Ngozi clearly.
Hi, my name is Ngozi Aderemi. For a long time, I've been looking for a working from home kind of job. So I did my business analysis training with Tenalytics, and guess what? After my training, I started looking for a job, trying to get a working from home job, and now I got one. I just want to encourage you as a student of Tenalytics, or maybe you're aspiring to join Tenalytics for training. It's very good because when you're done, you will get a working from home job. Thank you.
So that's Ngozi. Ngozi just telling you about her story, trying to get a job, completed the program, and now she got a job working remotely, working from home. And that's one of the amazing stuff you can get to do, working from the UK and so on and so forth, okay? For the others, I'll leave the slides. Once you receive the slides, take out time, okay? Take out time, get to listen to Bukola, listen to what Bukola has to say about her journey, all right? You have Joel. Joel joined our data engineering program. Today, Joel works remotely from Nigeria, works for a company in the US as a data engineer. You have Vivian, who joined our data science program. Vivian, first of all, got a job in France working remotely. Then she moved to the UK, and now she's an associate manager, data and business analytics in the UK. You would also want to listen to what Vivian has to say. You have Oluwadamilare, who is a sustainability data analyst, completed our data analytics program, lives in the UK, went for the UK for his master's, completed his master's, and also was able to secure his job. We prepared him for his interviews. All these professionals you see, we prepared them for their interviews, letting them know what to say when they get in, how to say it, and the right way to sell their stories. And I'll show you some of the ways you can also do that today. And that's the essence of our session. This is Ikmat. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She went to the UK for her master's. She joined our data analytics program, and Ikmat secured a job with the NHS. She's one of the 55 people I talked about who works with the NHS in the UK. She got full visa sponsorship, okay? So she got, the NHS sponsored her visa, gave her a certificate of sponsorship, the COS, and she was able to apply for a skilled worker visa. And she's still on that role today, and so many other professionals. This is Abdul. Abdul got a job as a data analyst, and this is him sending me an email. Got a job as a data analyst, £44,000 in the UK, and this is him saying, I'll be submitting your email for references and so on and so forth. Okay, and so many other professionals that have done the same things you're trying to do. Fola joined us in February this year. She completed her program in May this year, and by August, she got a job as a business analyst, working with the government of British Columbia in Canada. And this is Fola sending me a message. Hello, I got the job. The contract was signed yesterday. And this is me saying, congratulations, Fola. When will you resume? I'll resume on Tuesday. All right. So many professionals. This is Benem, got a job as a HR analyst in the US. And like I said, you have the slides, get to listen to these professionals, and you get inspired by how they were also able to make the transition. Abigail lives in Canada. She was a care worker. Today, she's a business analyst after completing our business analysis program. You also have more links where we bring these people into sessions where they also get to tell you what they did, how they were able to secure the jobs after the training with Tenalytics. So I've kept the links for you to also watch and get to listen to them. Okay. Now, before we get started, I want to know, are you inspired that this is something you can do? If you want to become any of the, let me even find out first of all, which of the 8 career paths are you interested in joining? Type into the chat. You want to join data analytics. You want to become a business analyst. Type into the chat and let me see. Okay, type into the chat. Let's see the, okay, Abraham says DA, Wellington, DA as well. So I want to know the career path you're interested in starting. Type it into the chat and let's see. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Damilola says business analysis. Joshua says HR analytics. Ebenezer says, where's Ebenezer? Well, Ebenezer, your message has cybersecurity from Adelano. Grace, HR analyst, financial analyst, absolutely phenomenal. But let's get into the main meat of our session today, which is strategies for negotiating salaries. People mess up during interviews, okay? And from my experience of being an employee and also being an employer, being an interviewee and being an interviewer, I've seen everything you can possibly see when it comes to the candidates. What do employers look for? What do interviewers look for? And how do you position yourself for the best opportunities when you get yourself into the room? When you have the opportunity to get into the room, that's 50% of the job is done. The next thing for you is it's either you get that job or you don't, and you want to leave that room, leaving everybody with the impression that you're the best person for the job. But most people falter when they get into interviews and would look at one aspect, which is negotiating salaries. And this can come in different ways. You could get questions like, how much are you hoping to earn? Okay, you could get questions like, if we were to make you an offer, what would you feel is a fair number? You could get questions like, if money were not an issue, what would your ideal compensation look like? All these questions are asking the same thing. What are your salary expectations? Okay, for some job roles, they'll indicate the salary expectation, okay? It's clear to be clearly indicated so you know what you're going in for. Some of them would indicate a range, 40,000 to 50,000 pounds, okay? So who are you going to give 40,000 pounds and who will you give 50,000 pounds? That's the question that would always play in your head. So how do you get the 50,000 pounds? How do you negotiate to get that upper bound of the salary range? And this is where a lot of people fail. And I'm going to show you what to start doing when you find yourself in that situation next time. So how you answer also depends on the stage of the interview you find yourself. So if you're at the beginning stage of the interview, know that they're asking you this question to weed you out very fast. So they want you out of the door as fast as possible. If it's at the early stages of the interview, just know that they want you out of the door. So you need to be very creative. You need to show them the value you bring to the table and never give them a figure. Okay? So how do you navigate the space? When you get this question, after maybe the initial phone call for them to get a profile of who you are, they've invited you for the interview, and they start talking about salary expectations at that early stage. Know that they're trying to weed you out, okay? So how do you navigate the space? And you also have the later stages. Here, they've seen you, they've seen your CV, they've seen your requirements, they've seen what you bring to the table, and they want to find out, okay, what should we give you to keep you? Okay, how do we optimize the budget we have and at the same time pay you a fair salary? All right, so how do you also navigate this space? Because you always want to get that upper bound of the salary. Always remember and always know this. Organizations always have that room, that wiggle room to increase the salary offer to you. So once they've offered you 40,000 pounds, I can bet you that that 40,000 can go up to 42, 45,000 pounds. If you've been offered $85,000, I want you to know that 85,000 can go up to 87, $90,000. So how do you negotiate for that type of wiggle room to get a better offer at the end of the day? If you're at the early stages or the later stages during the interview. And that's what we're going to discuss now. All right. Okay, Bill is asking a very good question. for the 5th October, how many students per class? If you have a large class, do you have enough trainers? We have over 300 resource persons, Bill Besh, over 300 resource persons. Okay, so we have more than enough hands to handle, or we have so many classes. Those in the US, those in the US and Canada, you have a class. Those in the UK and so on, you also have your class. All right, so Sandra, today's session is for 2 hours. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through everything within the space of 2 hours. Now, let's go to some key aspects you must never do. So once you find yourself in that situation where you've been asked the question, what's your salary expectation? You want to avoid giving a number. No matter what happens, never ever give a number. Only talk about a number, a specific number, when they have come up with a number. If they haven't given you a number, never give a number. And never use the phrase, I want X amount of money, I want this, I want that. Okay? Never say that. Always lead with value. Show them the value you bring. Or they ask you the question, what's your salary expectation? Oh, I would want to earn about 60,000 pounds on this job. No, you never say that. You lead with value. And how do you lead with value? I'm going to show you how to lead with value. But these are the 2 things you must never do. I've never give them a number. No matter what happens, they're going to press you. Never give a number. And never use I want a particular amount. Okay? It's a tough question to navigate, but you must be prepared to navigate the question. And the very first thing you must do is do your research. You must do your research. All right. And this is where you would have, you would already know what the range for that particular role is. If they haven't put any range for you, you must know what the industry offers for that particular industry. What's for your particular level based on the job you're trying to get? What is the industry standard? So you want to research and have that understanding. And there are so many platforms to use: Glassdoor, PayScale, LinkedIn Salary. I'm going to show you practically how to do this, how to use Glassdoor, for example, how to use PayScale. Very, very important. But remember, as you go on Glassdoor to research, go on PayScale, also leverage your network. And this has helped me a lot. I applied to a job, years ago, and they offered me a particular salary. I wasn't very comfortable with the salary. I needed to put in a counter offer. But I went online, I couldn't really find the average for that particular industry at that point in time. So what did I do? I reached out to a friend of mine, sort of like a mentor, because she was far senior when it comes to my professional career. So I reached out to her. She works with one of the big fours. And the big fours always do their compensation survey. PwC, for example, almost every year, almost every maybe 2-3 years, they do compensation survey across multiple industries and so on. So I reached out to her and she told me what that particular level and the industry and what the going rates at that particular point in time. And I was able to put in my counter. And guess what? The organization came back, they matched my offer and they matched my counter, and they were able to give me an offer for the salary I had indicated that I wanted. So it's important to also leverage your network, reach out to people, reach out to mentors, and that's where the Tenalities community also becomes very relevant. That's the reason why we exist. So we guide you on all those things to do. So you must know your numbers, you must do your research. Remember, you go into that room where you want to be as comfortable as possible speaking about the numbers. And you also want to be as authentic as possible by doing your research. So your research would enable you to be authentic and comfortable. So that's the style you're going to go in to that interview: authentic and comfortable. So you do this by doing your research, and I'll show you how to research for this. Secondly, you must be ready to sell yourself. And this is where people fail. People fail immensely due to what? The inability to sell themselves during interviews. An interview is a sales pitch. Make no mistake, it's not a conversation between the employer and you. It's a sales pitch where you are there to sell yourself. You are there to tell them that all the other 9 people they have interviewed for that role, they should choose you because you are the best person. All right. And it would surprise you to find out that people can't answer questions as simple as, let's get to meet you. Tell me about yourself. Can you introduce yourself? People don't know how to answer that question. As simple as it sounds. So you hear so many funny responses, not knowing that you can leverage a simple technique called the seat approach, where you first of all talk about your skills, you talk about your experience, you talk about your achievements, and then you talk about your traits or your type of person. All right, it's a very important question that you would always get during interviews, but people can't answer this question. Okay, so people can't also tell a story about their experience. So when you're asked questions like, tell me a time you built a machine learning model as a data scientist, what were the key factors you considered in selecting your machine learning algorithms? Or as a business analyst, tell me a time you optimized the process. What tools did you use in your process mapping, and how did you manage difficult stakeholders? These are competency-based questions, questions to test your skills and test your experience. A lot of people don't know how to answer these questions. And the best technique to leverage is the STAR technique, where you first of all talk about the situation, you talk about the task involved, the actions you took, and the results you got. Okay? And these are the things we prepare you on during your interview. So you go into that room, you know your story, you are coherent, you know exactly what to say, and you are able to wow the interviewers. There is nothing that beats preparation for that interview. So be ready to sell yourself. Make no mistake, your interview is not a conversation. Your interview is you selling yourself to everybody sells something at the end of the day. If you're a pastor, you are selling your church. If you're a charity, you are selling your charity to get donations. You work for a business, you are selling a product, you are selling a service. If you're in an interview, you are selling yourself. There is always sales to be done at specific points in time. In an interview, you are the product, you are the one selling yourself. You have to know how to do that, all right? Which we're going to go into today. Now, you must also choose a style. The style for negotiating salary is what? Authentic and comfortable. Usually, that question throws somebody off balance, but you want to be comfortable, authentic when answering the question. And that's the style we're going to leverage today. And finally, you must practice like your life depends on it. And yes, your life depends on it, because that job will give you the salary that you want, the career that you want, and a whole part of your life will depend on that job you're about to get. So you must prepare, practice. You'll never give the best account of yourself if you don't practice. So these are the 4 cardinal points our session today would center around when it comes to answering that question. Now, let's move to the early stages of the interview. So if you find yourself in that position where you are at the early stage, you want to answer the question, what are your salary expectations? Okay, what are your salary expectations? So how do you answer this and how do you approach it? Now, you approach it, so the interviewer comes in at the early stages, you are in the room, what are your salary expectations? How do you answer? First of all, you need to give them an overload of information to give you. Remember, you never give a number. They'll push you to give them a number, but you never give a number. So you throw it back to them, deflect by getting more information from them. Okay, so you can say something like, I need to know more details about the role before I can give you an accurate answer. That's how you can do it, to deflect. Now, remember, the job description is there, the job adverts is there. So you've seen what the role entails. But it's also very clear that, so they might tell you something like, oh, but you've seen the job adverts, everything about the role has already, been indicated on the job adverts. But remember that not everything about the job can be put in paper. Okay, you have different other aspects of the job as well. Travel, working late, remote work, can I work hybrid, and so on and so forth. So this is where you want to get more details about the job and you want to deflect, give it back to them to provide you more information before you can give them an answer. And this is where you go back. So they would ask you questions like, oh, what details do you need for you to answer this question? So you tell them, I need to know about the job hours. I need to know if there's travel involved. How frequently will I be traveling? What are the benefits? What are the bonuses? Do you have a bonus structure? Are there remote opportunities? Can I work from home? Just to I want to also get a general feel of the culture for me to give you an accurate answer. So what are you doing here? You are simply giving them so much information that they have to provide you with. And trust me, they can't give you the answers during this interview. It's almost impossible. So you don't stop. So there's no awkward silence when you said all of this. Oh, I need to know the job hours, the travel involved, benefits, bonus, if there's remote work, available, and so on and so forth. I also want to know the company culture. They can't give you all that information. So don't stop, continue and tell them that. And I believe this is an approved job role, so the salary should be budgeted for and approved. Can I ask what the salary range is? So when you tell them all the information you need to make a decision, don't stop. Throw it back to them to give you a range. Here you have not requested for a specific figure. Okay, you've requested for what? A range. Give me what? A range. So you want to be careful. If you say, give me a specific number, they're not likely going to give you. So do what? Give me a range. I believe the salary is approved for, the job role is approved for, and I would like to know what the range is. Now, remember, these are highly trained HR professionals, and they're not likely going to give in easily, and they want to push. They want to get the information that they want from you. Most HR professionals would find out that their major was in psychology, so they know how to get information out of you. All right. So if they give you a range at this point in time that aligns with the research you have done, and you've seen clearly that this is the range based on this particular job role I'm trying to hire for, you can just tell them that that's fine and the range works for me. We can move on with the interview. But they might not give you a range and they might still push back and say things to ensure that they don't give you that number that you want by saying, it is a new role and we did not budget for it. Can you give us your salary expectations? So they still push to get information from you. And this is where your research comes in handy. So you've tried to deflect, you've tried to give it back to them to give you a range, but they haven't given you. So your research now comes into play. Before the interview, I researched the salary range for the job, the industry, the job level, and the range is about 45,000 to 55,000 pounds. Depending on your location, if you're in the US, is around this amount in dollars to this amount in dollars. That's the range. Okay, so now you've given them a range, but you don't stop there. You tell them why you deserve the upper bound. Always go for the upper bound. So if they've kept the upper bound for somebody, why not you? Why not push for it? Why not push for that maximum? Okay, so the upper bound usually is based on experience, is based on what you bring to the table and so on, but you're well prepared for that interview. So you want the upper bound of 55,000 pounds. Okay, so you've told them, you've done your research, you've looked at the job role, the job level, the job title, and this is the range. And this is where the next level is for you to lead with value. So why do you deserve it? Why do you deserve 55,000 pounds? And that's where you go to the next set of your response. I believe I am worth £55,000 because of my achievements and track records in my previous role. For example, I designed and implemented the first Power BI dashboard in the organization, optimizing our reporting timelines, which led to a 50% increase in sales due to timely data-driven decision-making. Secondly, I helped to identify locations where the business was making losses through my analysis and management reporting, and I recommended strategies to reduce the losses. And within a month of my recommendations, there was a reduction in revenue losses by a tune of 90%. And when I get on this job, I'll hit the ground running on this role, and I'll start adding value to this organization from day one. So you've told them what the range is, and you go ahead and tell them why you deserve the £55,000. And always remember, you've seen the job description, you've seen the requirements of that role. Your achievements must align to the requirements. So if the requirements indicates, the job requirements states that you must know how to build Power BI dashboard, that should be part of your what? Your achievements. Oh, it's the requirement is also stated in the job description that you would help the company optimize sales and so on and so forth. Talk about how you optimize sales or increase sales. The job description also talked about helping the organization become more efficient. You talk about how you were able to reduce losses for the organization. So when you are talking during the interview, because you prepared and you prepared so well, this is the time where they are taking notes when you're answering the question. But when you talk about these things, oh, I designed and implemented a BI dashboard in the organization, it increased sales by 50%. I also streamlined, identified areas where we had losses, and I recommended strategies based on the analysis. I gave recommendations, and it reduced revenue losses by 90%. They'll look up, and that's when you know you've gotten them. They would look up and, oh, this person is talking about things that we currently want in our organization. Okay? Now, every single thing you speak about, and this is where you become the director of how that particular interview would go. Because when you speak about how you built a dashboard, or you speak about how you reduced revenue losses, be rest assured that questions would come up from there. So you are literally directing them the type of questions for them to ask you. Okay, so they're going to ask you questions about the dashboard you built, and that gives you the opportunity to talk about this particular dashboard using the STAR technique. Talk about how you reduce losses using the STAR technique, and you literally would sell yourself to them. So these are the early stages. And when you talk about this, they'll know that you are proactive, you have good character, you are well prepared for that particular job. Every employer wants a superstar. You must show them that you are a superstar to get ahead and get those opportunities available. All right? Never, ever give a number. Always remember this. Wait for them to give you a range. If they don't give you a range, give them a range based on your research. Once you've given them that range, come back and tell them why you deserve the upper bound of that range based on what they want and what you have done in the past. And this is where people ask, oh, Adeza, what if I haven't done this before? What if I haven't worked in this space before? What do I do? All you need to do is very simple. Okay, you must have worked on projects. And this is where your project-based experience comes in handy. You don't get experience by only going to the office. You get experience by working on projects. And this is something that we do at Analytics. Every program is project-based. You learn Excel. You work on a project on using Excel to solve a real problem for a real company. You learn Python as a data scientist. You learn how to build machine learning models. You'd work on a project that would involve you building that machine learning model to help that company solve a particular problem. Okay, very, very important. All right. Okay, Sandra is asking a question. What if in case the salary is stated in the application, So do you still ask them this question? So if they have indicated a range, the salary is already stated, and they've indicated a range, you want to push for that upper range. Okay, so they're likely going to, sound you out to get to know your experience, to get to know what you bring to the table before they ask this, go ahead and ask you, okay, what your salary expectations are. And that's where you start to talk about what you've done before, what you can bring to the table, and why you believe they should pay you the upper range. Now, if all they have indicated in the job application is a fixed amount, maybe £45,000, so you've seen it, you've gone ahead to apply, okay, for that particular job, this question is not likely going to come up when you find yourself in that particular situation, okay? But I feel that your answers look like a writing statement if you present it this way. This is the best way possible for you to speak about it. You talk about your experience. Everybody's experience won't be the same. The role you apply to will never be the same. So you look at the role, you look at the requirements, and you look at the past experience you can bring into that room and talk about how that helps them to solve the problems they have because you've done it before. Okay, so no two ways of presenting this would ever be the same. And that's why you need interview preparation before you go into that room. What this helps you do, Sandra, against what you're saying, where, you might sound like you're writing a statement, you must be coherent. You can't fumble and stumble. I've interviewed so many people, and I'll tell you, what's your salary expectation? I think you can pay me anything between 35,000 to 40,000 pounds. You've boxed yourself into a particular salary range. We could have paid you higher, but you've given us a fixed number that you probably did not research. And it's way lower than what the industry standard is for that particular role. And that's why you must prepare. You must rehearse. You look at yourself in front of the mirror and you keep on reading these things out. So when you're in front of them, remember, you are authentic and you are comfortable when speaking and answering the questions. And that's the essence of having this. Now, if you're in the later stages, it's pretty much similar to what you do at the early stage. Because remember, here they have seen the fact that you've gone through the first, second, maybe third stage. They like you. They want to bring you on board. And they want to find out what you need to do, what they need to do, what they need to offer you to get you into that role. Okay, so you tell them, remember, you want to tell them that when they ask you what your salary expectations are, you go back just like the early stage where you're speaking about the fact that you've done your research is 45,000 to 55,000 pounds, and you believe this is an approved role, they've approved this budget, and ask them for their salary range, first of all, okay? Ask them for their salary range. If there's no range, and you are at the later stages of that interview. So that you ask them, what details do you need on the job? Tell them that you believe this is an approved role, approved salary. Tell me what the salary range is. And of course, they're likely not going to give you a range. And this is where you talk about the fact that you have already done your research. This is what the salary is. You are literally rehashing what you would have done at the early stages, but you're rehashing it at the later stages. Now, the major difference is after you've talked about what you bring to the table, why they should give you 55,000 pounds, what you have done before. What if they come back and they give you a specific number? So when you tell them that before the interview, you've done your research and you found out that the range is about 45,000 to 55,000 pounds, and they come back to you and tell you that the budget we have is around 45,000, does this work for you? Now they have given you a number, a fixed number. So the question is, what do you do with this number? So it gives you an idea of what they are looking to offer for this role, because they didn't give you a range, they gave you a specific number. Okay, so they've told you that the budget they have is 45,000 pounds. Does this work for you? And this is where you have to tell them, you have to negotiate it a little bit higher. Like I said, there's always wiggle room to go higher. Okay, so they've offered you 45,000. You can simply go ahead and tell them that you believe you can deliver more than that 45,000 they want to give to you. So I can deliver results far exceeding the budgeted amount for this role. What if we start at 50,000 pounds? And in 3 months, after I've proven my value through the KPIs I'll be giving. So the KPIs will depend on the role. You are increasing revenue, you're reducing losses, whatever the case is. Once you have been able to meet your KPI after 3 months, you can move the compensation to 55,000 pounds with performance bonuses tied to growth. That way, you are not getting immediate results. That's where you are getting immediate results and are motivated to push the company even further. So you're simply telling them that we believe you can do more than the 45,000 that they have budgeted. Meet them at the middle. What if we start at 50,000? And in the next 3 months, after I have proven myself to you by doing X, Y, Z, based on what the job requirement states, we can then look at increasing the revenue, increasing the compensation to 55,000 pounds. So let's start at 50. After 3 months, let's look at 55. That way, you are telling them that you are ready to come into this role, you are ready to add value, you are ready to hit the ground running. One of the things organizations don't want from candidates is what? Learning on the job. So you don't want to come in and learn on the job. You don't want to tell them that you want to learn, you want to grow with the company. Nobody wants to hear all of that. Okay, the moment a potential employer hears that, you are likely going to be cut off from that interview. Nobody wants you to grow with them, learn with them. No, you want to hit the ground running, help them solve the problems that they have. And you're simply telling them that that way you are getting immediate results, and I am motivated to even push the company further in line with its growth objectives. And these are the ways you can address what your salary expectations are. Well, in the US, it might be hourly. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, if there's overtime, can I factor that when negotiating salary? Absolutely. And that's where you ask questions around at the beginning part of the negotiation, when you ask them to give you more details. Okay, do you have bonuses? Do you have overtime? Can I work remotely? Do I have to come to the office all the time? And so on and so forth. At that point, they start telling you the full package of the remuneration. So they start to speak. And once they give you information that you need, it's a lot easier for you to work with that during the interview. Okay, what if they ask what your current salary is? Never answer that question, Chidi. People ask the question, and I wonder why you go ahead and answer. No, never answer the question what your current salary is. My current salary is, you simply tell them that your current salary is, you can't disclose your current salary because it is confidential, but you'll be happy to know what they want to offer. Okay, never. Some people would request for your payslip. Never give them that, never. I would rather leave a job, okay, than to provide my payslip. Because you don't know where you are coming from. You could be underpaid, you could be underemployed, and using that as a yardstick to get into the next job would be the worst way to start. Okay, so never answer the question what your current salary is. Never provide your payslip to any employer for any reason. All right. So these are the ways you can navigate the space. It's not the only way. It's not a hard and fast rule, like I said, but this gives you an idea of how you can start to prepare your mindset on how to navigate that question. Never give a number. Never tell them that I want this particular amount when they ask you the question. Never provide your current salary, like Chidi asked. Never provide your payslip. A lot of HR professionals do this. It's a very draconian, HR practice. Never give them your payslip. You'll be undervaluing yourself and you're likely going to get underpaid. Okay? Tell them your current salary is, you can't disclose it because it is confidential, and I'll be happy to know what you have to offer for this particular role. All right? So now I'm going to take you to how to search for the salary ranges using Glassdoor and also using PayScale. okay, using Glassdoor and also using pay scale. Augustine is asking, what is the process to the interview request for your current salary? Put something in there, put 00, put NA, not available. And when they ask you questions during the interview, tell them the reason why you have put 00, you've put NA. I've done this before, okay? And like I said, any employer that does that are just looking for ways to pay you lesser than they already plan to pay you. So don't give them the opportunity to do that. All right. So it's best they state the salary for that particular job role. But if they haven't done that, don't help them or make it easier for them by telling them what you currently earn. And then the negotiation will be based on what you currently earn and probably just give you a little markup of 20% or 25%, and you feel good that you've gotten more than where you're coming from. However, you could have been paid a lot more than what they offered you at that point in time. All right. Okay, so how do you negotiate or how do you research your salary range? We're going to work with two quick platforms. We're going to work with Glassdoor and we're going to work with PayScale. All right. So before you get into the room, remember, you have to prepare. You need to know your numbers. You need to be comfortable. You need to be authentic. They need to know that you are proactive and you go out, you think out of the box, you go out of your way to get the information that you need to get the best value for yourself at the end of the day. So let's go to Glassdoor first of all. Okay. I'm going to use a different browser for this. So when you're using Glassdoor, remember or have this in mind that Glassdoor would request for some details from you, okay? And I'll show you exactly what I mean by doing that. So once I click on the link, okay, it takes me to Glassdoor salary checker. So you see search, salary, and compensation. All right. Now, for you to access the details of any particular job on Glassdoor, you must provide them with data. So it's either they ask you to provide them with your current salary where you work or your previous salary where you worked in the past. You must give them something in order for them to give you access to viewing salary averages. And you can do this from different locations. You can search, you're in Nigeria, you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you can always search based on your location, all right? So when you're trying to do this, and I type, let's say, data scientist, for example, I want to see the industry average for a data scientist. I go to location and I type in, let's say, Edmonton. Okay, Edmonton, Canada, and I click on what? Search. So this takes me to the data scientist salary in Edmonton, Alberta. Now, you're not going to just type it in and see this automatically. It's likely going to be covered. So they will blur the range out. They'll blur it out for you. And for you to have access, you're likely going to have to provide them with data. I mean, that's what, I had to do to get access to this, years ago when I had to. I don't know if they've changed that process right now, but just in case it's blurred out, you're likely going to have to provide them with some details. And this was updated last month on the 19th of August. So it's pretty recent. And you can see what the range is, 80,000 to 112,000 Canadian dollars. So you have an idea of what, the pay for this particular role is. So when you're going in there, you know what to say, you know how to negotiate once you're asked that question of your salary expectation. So if you come down here, what is the salary trajectory for a data scientist? You can see data scientists most likely towards entry, level role, 105, 6 figures, 109, summer intern, associates, 109,000. So this range is absolutely, fantastic for us to work with. And this is what Glassdoor does for you. And of course, you can see the job, the organization, the University of Alberta, how much they pay, ATB Financial. The financial companies, the financial organizations would usually pay a little bit more compared to players within the education space and so on and so forth. Now, how about PayScale? How do we use PayScale? Same process. I've kept the link for you here. So all you have to do, click on the link. It takes you to the platform. For PayScale, you don't need to provide any information or register or anything. So you come in here, select jobs. Okay, so let's select jobs, and you want to type in the job title. So I want to check data scientist. So I've checked Glassdoor. So I also want to check pay scale to see if they align when it comes to the average. So I go to data scientist and I click on search. Now, the thing about pay scale is it's likely going to get your location where you currently reside. So if you look at the link here, the URL, you'd see country equals Canada. So if you're in the US, most likely you'd see country equals US. If you're in the UK, country equals UK, country equals Nigeria, depending on your location. Okay, so jobs, data scientist, search, salaries. Okay, and this would give you the average as well. So here we are seeing 84,599. Okay, 84,599 Canadian dollars. It's not far away from what Glassdoor has given to us, 80,000 to 112. So we can see that we are in line with what the average is across the industry. And this is how you can easily do your own research. And remember, speak to mentors, speak to people that have been on the road, speak to people that have done it before, and can also help you prepare and help you understand people that are within the organization itself. One of our participants was trying to get a job with one of the organizations in the UK. I had done work for them before as a contractor. So she reached out to me, Adeza, I'm trying to get this job with this organization, and I want to know, have an idea of what they pay for this particular job role. And I had to just reach out to somebody, and I was able to get that information for her. And she was able to use that during the interview when it came to the offer she got. So she wasn't asked the question during the interview, but she was given an offer. And the offer was for about, I think, £36,000, but she was able to up from £36,000 to £45,000 because I was able to get the details for her on what that particular job role, what they pay in the organization. So that's how you can leverage people within the industry, mentors, your network, to even get information that you wouldn't find online. And to also allude and wrap up with that aspect, always remember, being a part of a network is very, very crucial. So at the Tenalytics community, once you join any of the programs, you join our community. We have an alumni community, your current participants, you also have your community. Stephen Anointing got a job as a performance data analyst with Hastings Direct in Glasgow. Now, the organization were also looking for 2 candidates to fill in jobs in similar organizations. It was location specific. They wanted somebody in Scotland. So it was either you're in Edinburgh, you're in Glasgow, Aberdeen, and so on. All right. So all Stephen did was to reach out to me. Okay, this was where he got the job. Hi, Adez, I just want to say a very big thank you for providing me with the reference. Okay, and here this was where I was saying, I'm still getting offers and I don't know who I can recommend. If you have anybody who's solid enough that I can recommend, please let me know. They have to be within the Scotland area. Okay, and of course, this is me saying absolutely, I'll share some solid profiles with you. Now, these candidates that put in the application did not just get information of how to prepare, because guess what? Stephen was already working there. So he had the knowledge. He knows what is obtainable, the questions that were asked during the interview. He was also able to guide them and tell them what the salary expectation should look like. And these people were able to leverage that opportunity to secure the roles. And this is where community also plays a major part of you trying to get a job. All right. Now, before I get into the next level for us is, how do I become a data analyst? What do I need to learn? I've been hearing so many things online. I don't know what to start with. I don't know what I need to learn. How should I start? And this is what I'm going to walk you through in the next 30 minutes before we wrap up our session today. Now, before we get into that, if you've learned something new, you've had a great time today, type in a yes into the chat. Just type in a yes, into the chat. Type in a yes into the chat. Show is saying some people ask for salary expectation in the questionnaire. That's exactly what I said. Put 000. Don't put anything. Okay, just put 000. So it's a required field. You have to fill it. So you don't want to leave it blank. Put something, put 000, and you'll be able to submit. So if you've had an amazing time so far, type in a yes into the chat before we go ahead with the rest of our session today. Fantastic. Chisom says yes. Augustine says absolutely yes. Brilliant. The interview process is absolutely important, immensely, and you have to take it with all level of seriousness. And that's why one of the major employability services that we provide at Analytics is looking at the job requirements, preparing you for that interview. Okay, preparing you for that interview. So how can you get into any of these career paths? I want to become a data analyst. I want to become a business analyst. I want to become a data scientist. What do they do? And how can I get into this career path? So I'm going to quickly walk through this. I'll be a little bit fast as I navigate who the business analyst is and what they do. Every organization has three major components: the people, the processes, and the technology. Okay, now the business analysts, and the reason why they're called process automation specialists is because they focus on the processes within the organization. Every organization has a process, a business process. Okay, so you have a friend who sells bags online. Okay, and for that friend to sell a bag, what's the process for the customer to buy a bag? So your friend sells bags online, and people have to buy the bags, right? So how do customers buy bags online? It could involve, the first process is somebody has to send a message on Instagram or call. They either send a message or they make a phone call. Now, once they make a phone call, somebody at the other end would do what? Would write all the details, write down the address of the customer, write down the details of the bag that they want, and go and check if that bag is available. If the bag is available, they will then do what? Get a logistic partner to do what? Deliver that bag to the customer. Now, this entire process takes about 2 days for that particular product to get to the customer. And you also have so many mistakes and so many errors. Why? Because somebody is sending a message and somebody is calling. So within the space of 24 hours, you're only able to sell 2 bags or 3 bags, because you receive a call, you receive a message, somebody goes to the store. Oh, is this blue bag still available? Is it not available? If it's available, you get it, send it to the third-party logistics, and they're able to deliver it to the customer. It's a very inefficient process. The business analyst would come in and look at that process. What are other people doing? What are other businesses that sell bags? What are they doing? And how are they making their processes more efficient? Look at the internal process of this particular organization. Where are the gaps? Where are the inefficiencies? And how can we make this better? That's the role of the business analyst. So the business analyst will recommend something like, we need to build a website. And that website must have an order management system. So rather than customers coming, sending messages or calling, through the phone to make that order, all they need to do is go to this website and do what? Place the order. And once they place the order, it shows if that bag is available or not, because it has an order management system. So there is nobody going to the store to confirm, is this bag available? Is the bag not available? For the business analyst to recommend building the website, the business analyst would sit down with all the different stakeholders involved in that process. The customer service who picks up the phone call, the store manager who manages the store. So you have a very good understanding of what the process entails, what needs to be improved, what needs to be done to ensure that customers can buy bags, buy them fast, and get it delivered even faster. And as a business analyst, you manage the process, you'd manage the project of building these websites to make it the process faster. So that process that used to take maybe 2 days or 3 days to deliver to customers now take just what? 24 hours. And that's why the business analysts are process automation specialists. A business analyst can work in any organization, any industry. You have business analysts in the medical sector. They work with the NHS. They work with different NHS trusts. They work in the banking industry. And the focus for them is, if this thing takes us 5 days, how can we reduce it to take just 5 minutes? So you analyze the systems, you analyze the processes, and you manage stakeholders within the organization, all right? And just to put it simply, that's what the business analyst will do in an organization. And for you to perform this role, you start with the understanding of data analytics skills. The modern business analyst must know how to use Excel, Power BI, and SQL to make sense of data. So you're going to use Excel to analyze your data, SQL to interact with databases. So SQL is structured query language, which is a language you use to interact with databases where the data is stored. And Power BI for your data visualization. Get data, analyze the data, visualize that data, automating the process of extracting insights using the dashboard you've built with Power BI. This gives you the opportunity to apply to job roles like the business data analyst role. Okay, so a business analyst without the understanding of Excel, Power BI, and SQL, you can never apply to a business data analyst role, because a business data analyst is a business analyst that has a flavor of data analytics, all right? And that's why your very first module starts with Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then you learn process mapping using tools like Lucid Charts and also Draw.io. So these are the diagramming tools you would use to map out a process. How does this process start? How does it end? You map out processes, project initiation. You'd learn Agile and Scrum for projects. You'd learn how to use tools like Jira to track project deliverables, tools like Azure DevOps as well for your diagramming and tracking projects. And you'd also learn Confluence for project collaboration. You'd learn Trello to manage tasks within your team members and track project tasks within a particular project. You'd learn the software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, getting the right requirements for you to build that website. What does the website need to have? What features do we need to have on the website, and so on? Elicitation, asking the right questions. When you speak with a customer service professional, you know the right type of questions to interview them to get the information that you need to build that, recommend that platform that would enable the business operate more efficiently. You'd learn how to manage stakeholders, communicate with stakeholders, rank your stakeholders based on influence through stakeholder analysis and engagement. And finally, AI for business analysis using Charts GPT. Your learning timeline is for 4 months, 2 months in class and 2 months internship. And your internship is where you work on a project where you build a web application for a client. So you work in an organization where the HR department currently does things manually. So as a business analyst, you go into the HR department, you analyze that process, you map out the process, you have the as-is process, you come up with the to-be process. How do I enable this particular department become more efficient, automate their processes? When people want to go on leave, rather than sending messages, sending emails, how can they go online on a portal, enter their leave details, it automatically goes to the line manager and the line manager approves. And that's the type of application you'd manage, you'd project manage as a business analyst during your program with us. Your live classes would happen on Saturdays. If you're in the UK, you are in Africa, somewhere around Europe, similar time zone, you have your classes 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you are in Canada, you are in the US, similar time zone, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So let's take, for example, you're in the UK, you can't join the class that starts at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can join the guys in Canada and in the US. You can join the class that begins 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. your time. So you have that flexibility to be in a live class at different times, depending on your availability and your schedule. And on Sundays, you don't have a live class. You have your self-paced class on Sundays. I'll show you the platform where you watch your videos on Sundays and all through the week if you want to continue watching your videos. So it's a blended learning approach. You don't have to be in class every day. You don't have to be in class every day of the weekend itself. You can simply come to class on Saturday, work on projects, build your experience, and on Sundays, you get to watch your videos at your own convenience. That's the business analyst career path. Now we go to the data analyst, the data scientist, and the data engineer. And I'm going to summarize because of time. Now, who is a data engineer? The data engineer is the data provider. Data what? Provider. They provide the data that the data analysts would use. Okay, and the data analyst and the data scientist. So the data scientist and the data analyst, they both need data to do their jobs. The data engineer is the person that provides this data to the data analyst and the data scientist. So they get data from wherever the data is stored or from wherever source the data is generated from, and they make this data available to the data analyst and the data scientist for them to carry out their jobs. So without the data engineer in an organization, it's difficult. It becomes difficult for the data analyst, the data scientist, the business analyst, anybody who needs to work with data. It becomes difficult for them to do their jobs. So, but what does the data analyst do with data? The data analyst answers two key questions. The first question is what happened? Okay, every organization wants to know what happened. And the second question, why did it happen? These are the two key questions a data analyst must always answer. And let's assume you are a data analyst, you work with Netflix. Okay, Netflix wants to know what happened in our business since January till date. So year till date, how many subscribers have we been able to get? Netflix wants to know. The data analyst would take the data, subscribers' data, that the data engineer has provided to answer this question. So you would use tools like Excel, Power BI, and the rest to analyze that data. And you show something like this. Okay, so let's say this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. September is not over yet. So let's say we have from January to August. And we want to know how many subscribers have we gotten over the last 8 months. Now, in January, we had let's say we had 1 million subscribers. In February, we had 1.5 million subscribers. In March, we had 1.2 million. April, we had 1.3 million. May, we had 1 million. June, we had, say, 2 million. July, we had 2.2 million. And August, we had 1.5 million. So the data analysts would get the data to show and analyze, visualize that data to show what happened. January till August, we had 1 million in January. In August, we had 1.5. But when you look at this, you'll notice that in the month of June and July, we had what? 2 million subscribers in June and 2.2 million in July, the highest number of subscribers in that year. Why do we have the highest in the month of June and July? So once you've known what happened, which is simply what you can see when it comes to subscribers, the next question is, why do you have 2 million in June and 2.2 million in July? And why do we have 1 million in January and in May? So June and July, if I know what happened, why we're able to increase our subscriber base, I know exactly what I should keep on doing to keep on increasing, getting more revenue. The more subscribers, the more revenue. So you might realize when you dive into the deeper a little bit, that's where you're trying to answer this second question. Why did it happen? Why did we have a surge in June and July? And that's where you dive into the data to look for trends, to look for patterns and events that can explain what happened. So in the month of June and July, a new movie was released. The latest Mission Impossible by Tom Cruise, there was a lot of buzz and publicity around that. And that was what gave us that increase in subscriber base. Or we launched the new live streaming events. We streamed Joe Rogan on Netflix for the first time, live events in the month of June. We streamed another Dave Chappelle, for example, in the month of July. And that's why we had that surge. When you know what's led to the things that happened, why it happened, you can then decide, okay, if live streaming is working, whenever we do a live streaming of a comedian, Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, we get increase in subscriber base. Let's do more live streaming. Let's do more comedy events where they are live streamed, and that will keep on increasing our subscriber base going into the next couple of months. And that's what the data analyst does. The data scientist, on the other hand, will do number one and number two, but take it one step further. Number three, which is what will happen. What will happen? So if I know what happened and why it happened, the data scientist will take it further to answer the question, what will happen? So I don't know how many subscribers I'm going to get in September. I don't know how many I'll get in October. I don't know how many I'll get in November. I don't know how many I'll get in December. And that's where the data scientist will do what? Leverage techniques and tools, statistical modeling, machine learning, and so on and so forth to help predict what will happen in the future, what will happen in September, what will happen in October, November, and December. And that's where you are able to predict, or we're going to have in September, based on what happened and why it happened, we can predict that we're going to have 2 million, October, we're going to have 1.7 million, and so on and so forth. And that's the role of the data scientist and how the data scientist is different from the data analyst. The data analyst will tell you what happened using different analytic tools, why it happened by diving deeper into the data to look for events, trends, patterns, while the data scientist will tell you the future of what will happen based on what has happened in the past. And that's where you need to have statistical modeling knowledge, machine learning knowledge to get to do that. While the data engineer is the person that provides the data for all this work to even happen. So for you to get to be a data analyst, you must understand problem solving. That's where it all starts from. You'd learn Excel for analytics. So you use Excel to analyze your data, come up with insights to show what happened, why it happened. SQL, structured query language. That data that the data engineer would provide would be in a database. For you to get the data as a data analyst, you must understand the language to interact with that database. And that's why you have to learn SQL, structured query language, to get your data from the database provided by the data engineer. You'd learn Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, Microsoft Fabric. The program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And like I said, the internship is where you build your experience, you build your portfolio to show recruiters that you have done it before. You are not new into the space, you have the skills to do it, and you're not just telling them that you can do it. Again, your live classes are on Saturdays, depending on where you are. If you're in the UK, Africa, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in Canada, you're in the US, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is around 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so on Sundays, you don't have a live class. You watch your classes on the LMS, and I'll show you the platform. Fantastic structured platform where the best learning experience takes place. And I'll show you the platform before we wrap up today. As a data scientist, you must understand statistics. This is what helps you see into the future. Okay, so you can't run away from statistics, you can't run away from mathematics and be a data scientist. All right, you'd learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. So as a data analyst, you're going to learn Excel. As a data scientist, you would also learn Excel. But the Excel you learn as a data scientist involves a lot of what? Forecasting. You'd learn linear regression in Excel, exponential smoothing, how to use the moving average technique, the naive approach to forecasting, and so on and so forth. You learn Tableau, SQL as a data scientist before you move into Python. Okay, a lot of people dive into Python head on when becoming data scientists, and that's why they face a lot of issues and a lot of problems. All right, so you have to build a strong foundation, which starts from statistics, Excel, Tableau, SQL, before you start diving into Python. So you'd learn Python for your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning, computer vision. You'd learn version control with GitHub Copilot, and ChatGPT using ChatGPT for your AI and automation as a data scientist, and Microsoft Fabric for analytics. The structure of the class is the same as the data analytics class. It's for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship, and your live classes are only on Saturdays. So 3 hours on Saturdays, depending on where you are. If you're in the US, Canada, you have a class that fits your time zone. If you're in the UK, Africa, you have a class that fits your time zone. Sundays, that's where you get to learn at your own pace, at your own convenience on Sundays. As a data engineer, you start with introduction to data engineering, SQL and Python. Structured query language and Python would be your bread and butter. SQL will be what you use for your data warehousing, building your databases, and so on and so forth. You'd learn Python to help you build your pipelines to move data from where it is to where it should be. You'd learn Linux for your bash scripting. You'd learn how to move data from databases, from APIs, scrape data from the web. You'd learn how to use Apache Spark and Airflow for your data pipeline automation. All right, so when you're moving data and providing that data to the data analyst and data scientist, you want to do it in an automated way so that when you're not even there, the data is still available and the data is still moved into that database for whoever needs it. So you're going to learn AWS cloud engineering, including projects on GCP and Microsoft Azure. These are the 3 major cloud platforms: AWS, GCP, and Azure. You'd learn version control with GitHub and ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for your AI in data engineering. The data engineering program is slightly longer than the others. It's for 5 months, 3 months in class, 2 months internship, all right? And your classes are also structured in a way that it doesn't matter where you are, you have a class you can join at based on your current location. So if you're in the US, if you're in the UK, Africa, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays. If you're in the US, Canada, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And on Sundays, you don't have a live class, you have a self-paced class. Now, The HR analyst and the financial analyst. As a financial analyst, you are simply a data analyst. Okay, you are a data analyst who focuses on what? Financial records or financial data. Okay, the data analysts typically would work on different types of data, customer data, sales data, and so on and so forth. But you as a financial analyst, your focus is on what? Financial records. You're helping the organization take the financial data they have and identify areas for cost optimization. You're helping them assess their the financial health, profitability, looking at the profitability metrics, return on investment, return on equity. You are building financial models. You are carrying out scenario and sensitivity analysis. So once there are changes in the regulatory environment, in the economy, how does it impact our organization? What investment opportunities should we take advantage of? And that's pretty much what you'll be doing as a financial analyst, leveraging your data analytics skills, working with financial data. So you're going to learn problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, pretty much the same data analytic tools that you need to learn as a data analyst. Then you learn the financial fundamentals, accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and ChatGPT for financial analytics. And the structure is similar to the structure of the data analytics, the data science as well. It's for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. You get to be in class on Saturdays where you work on projects in a live session. You have a trainer like me, you have a facilitator, an industry professional walking you through all the things you need to know. And on Sundays, you get to watch your videos and learn at your own convenience. The HR analyst is also a data analyst. But rather than focusing on all types of data, the HR analyst focuses on what? People data. Okay, or HR data. So you want to look within an organization, people are leaving, you have a high turnover rate, you have a high attrition rate. What are the factors leading to people leaving? A lot of HR professionals have data at different data points. When you hire people, you collect data from them. When they eventually join the organization, you have their performance reviewed. Every quarter or biannually, you review the performance, and at the end of the year, you have performance appraisal. How do you leverage that data to help the organization get better? By implementing and recommending strategies to come up with HR policies, HR strategies to improve the employees, which invariably would improve the organization. You want to know what parts of your training budget leads to business results. Who are the employees that give you the best results when it comes to the source of hire? So you look at people that you hired from LinkedIn, people you hired from your company website, people you hired through HR consultants. Who gives you the best performance when it comes to loyalty, it comes to appraisals, and so on and so forth. And these are the things the HR professional wants to do. You want to get these data sets, analyze them, and this would inform the policies and the strategies you deploy within an organization. So you would learn the data analytics skills because that's what you would use to do your analysis and so on. Problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you move into HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, analyzing different metrics, absenteeism. How does absenteeism affect the productivity within the organization? Talent sourcing analysis. Which talent pipeline gives you the best results? These are the things you want to know. HR analysis and dashboarding, building dashboards with Power BI and so on and so forth. Collaboration and report automation. You have reports you build every single week. You have to present every single week. How do you automate the process in a way that you don't have to build that report every time? Okay, building your case and creating action, ChatGPT for HR analytics. The structure is the same with the financial analytics. 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. You have your live classes on Saturdays. On Sundays, you have your self-paced classes. All right. Now you have the Agile project manager. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not your conventional project manager. This is the project manager that leverages the Agile methodology. Okay, and the Agile methodology, you'd find 3 key frameworks. You'd find the Scrum framework, you'd find the Kanban, and you'd find the Lean framework. Now, it's important that when managing projects within the tech ecosystem, you are using frameworks that aligns with the tech ecosystem. Okay, and I'll give you a very quick scenario. Now, imagine that your friend who the business analyst has recommended a website to be built. In that same organization, if they have a project manager, an agile project manager, the agile project manager can take up that responsibility at that point in time to do what? To build the website. Now, in building this website, based on all the features we want to have the pictures of the bags. We want to have the prices of the bags displayed. We want to have an augmented reality of the bag. So by clicking on the bag, it shows you a picture of you holding the bag. So we want to have the augmented reality of the bag so that every customer can see a real rendition of them holding the bag and how it's going to fit their particular attire. You also want to have, let's say the payments integration. Okay, so these are some of the features we want to have on the website. And this would take us what? Let's say 6 months to build. The Agile project manager leveraging the different, let's say the Scrum framework, for example, would see how we can implement this particular project in the fastest way possible. Okay, so you'd implement something called the sprint planning. The sprint planning is where you sit together and agree which of these features are crucial that we need to build in order to what? Deploy this project the fastest. So we agree that having the pictures of the bags and also integrating payments. So customers should be able to pay on the platform, and they should also be able to see the picture of the bag, the price of the bag. So we agree on this during the sprint planning. Now, you also have the sprint review. So everybody comes together, the software developer, the agile project manager, everybody comes together and ensures that within the next 2 weeks to 1 month, okay, we are able to work on these 2 major features. So we don't need every single thing on that particular website to deploy the website. All right, the AR, the augmented reality can come in later. Other features can come in later, but the website that we need for users to go to the platform, order their bag, get the payment, and also get their bag delivered. We agreed that's what to focus on for 2 weeks. And then once we completed the sprint planning, we have our sprint review. And during the sprint review, we look at what has been built over the course of 2 weeks. And we say, okay, we need to make this change, make that change. Everybody goes back, make the changes, and then we are able to deploy. Okay, and because we are using the agile methodology, we don't build everything at a go. We build it incrementally. So we also deploy what? Incrementally. So we deploy incrementally within the space of what? 1 month. So that project that should take us 6 months, we are deploying it in 1 month because we've leveraged the agile methodology. We've picked the key features that we need to deploy. We've built those features within the space of 2 weeks to a month. We've continuously tested and reviewed that particular website, and we can then deploy. So when we deploy and customers start using the platform, we get feedback from them and we continuously improve the platform based on the feedback. And we can put on all the other features as users continue using the platform. And that's literally what the Agile methodology says. The conventional methodology would say, build everything that will take 6 months or 1 year. And after you have built, that's when you deploy. Agile is adaptive. Agile is iterative. You don't have to build at once. You can build incrementally and deploy incrementally. And that's what the Agile project manager does, leveraging the Agile framework. So you're going to learn introduction to project management methodologies, project management skills and communication, the foundation of Agile and Scrum. You understand the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts, the increments, the sprints, the product backlog, advanced Scrum and Agile practices, end-to-end use of Jira. You're going to learn to use Jira to track your project deliverables, Trello to collaborate and also track the task of your project members, and Confluence for collaboration. You'd learn Kanban, okay? You'd learn the Agile metrics and reporting, your velocity, your burn down charts, leadership and the real world application, Nexus Skills Scrum. That's you simply implementing the Scrum framework across an enterprise, across multiple teams, and would also prepare you for the Scrum Master certification. The program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship, and you have your classes both on Saturdays and on Sundays. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. And last but not the least is the cybersecurity program. And cybersecurity professional, a cybersecurity analyst, is that person that protects the network, the systems, the data from both external and internal threats. All right, you want to ensure that the organization is protected from external and internal threats by you protecting those systems, the network, and the data of the organization. So you're going to start with introduction to cybersecurity, foundation of computing and networking. Networking is very key, moving into cybersecurity, information security principles. For those of you that will focus on the GRC aspect of cybersecurity, the governance, risk, and compliance, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography, cyber threats and attack vectors, network security, endpoints, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, for those of you that focus on threat intelligence and incident response, and cybersecurity policies and compliance. The cybersecurity program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Your classes are only on Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right. So it's a favorable time for both those in the US, in the UK, Africa, for those in the US, Canada as well. And your sessions on Sundays are self-paced on the LMS. And the beauty about all these career paths that you have all listed is the fact that most people complete a cybersecurity program and they don't know the different aspects they can focus on. As a cybersecurity professional, you can get a job as a GRC consultant. You can get a job as an SOC analyst, a security operations center analyst. You can get a job as a penetration tester, as an ethical hacker. And these are the things we open you up to during your program. You have a focus area, you work on that focus area, and you are able to build on that. And when the job application process comes in, you know exactly what to focus on. As a data analyst, you don't just get a job as a data analyst. You can apply to jobs as a business intelligence analyst, a sales analyst, a marketing analyst. Same with data science. You can get a job as a forecasting analyst, a machine learning engineer, an NLP developer, and so on and so forth. We've had participants who completed the data analytics program and they got jobs as pathology data analysts working with the NHS. Okay, so you have those different job roles, and it's important that you know how to apply, how to search for those specific key roles, in order to apply. And that's where you must also know that getting the job is beyond just the technical. I know I can see so many questions in the chat. I'm going to take those questions. Are there internship opportunities and all of that? I'm going to answer all the questions, all right? I want to complete my presentation and then I'll answer the question. How much for someone who has a knowledge and cannot get a job? If you can't get a job, there are fundamental reasons or fundamental issues that I'll show you, what you need to do or how to assess what those issues are, Sandra. In the next 10 minutes, I'll tell you what to do, all right? Now, we operate using the T+E equation. Getting a job is not just about the technical. So when I hear things like, oh, I know Excel, I know I've gone through a training, I know this, that's not what gets you the job. The best person in the use of Python, the best person in the use of Excel does not get the job. But the person that has both the technical skills and the employability skills gets the job. And that's why we focus a whole lot on employability, preparing you for your interviews, having the right CV, having the right LinkedIn profile, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you first of all go through a CV review. If you don't have a CV, we provide you a template. We show you how to tailor your CV to job requirements, how to enter the right keywords, know how to tailor your CV to the job you're applying to. So gone are the days of taking one CV, applying to 100 jobs. You're never going to get results. You want to apply to 100 jobs, you apply with 100 CVs. So how do you do the tailoring to apply to those jobs? You must have a fantastic LinkedIn profile, an optimized LinkedIn profile to attract the biggest and the best organizations out there. Navigating the job market. Where do you apply to jobs? How do you apply to jobs? And this is where most people apply to the conventional platforms available. You go to Indeed, you go to Glassdoor, you go to LinkedIn Jobs, Google Jobs, ZipRecruiter, Total Jobs. They are free to use. But where you get fantastic opportunities, for those in the UK, for example, you are looking for visa sponsorship. You don't easily find those jobs available on the free platforms. So there are paid platforms like UK Visa Jobs, for example. Okay, like the job, there is other one called the job, I think the Job Factory. Okay, so what we do is we pay to this platform, we have access to the jobs, and we provide those jobs for you. So those jobs are sent to you every week. You go ahead and apply. And that's why you see so many of our participants getting visa sponsorship jobs across different regions. And that's part of how to navigate the job markets. We walk you through that. Interview preparation. I've talked a lot about this. I'm not going to overemphasize, but interview prep, I dare say, is one of the major reasons why people don't get jobs. Okay? Because it opens up a lot of things. Now, once you get offers, you also need a reference letter, or the organization would need you to provide a reference, and that's where Tenalytics also comes in. We provide you with a reference that you need, just like we provided for Ololade, who is currently in Canada as a permanent resident, or to somebody like Abdul, who got a job in the UK, and the organization needed to confirm that Abdul had worked with Analytics, done all the things he could do, and we provided that for him. On the job support, you get a job, you are on a project that seems a bit difficult, and you need additional help. Analytics is always there to work with you on the job to ensure you are able to keep that job and stay on the job. Every Thursdays, we have our weekly mentorship sessions where you get to speak with industry experts. Myself, the co-founder, everybody are in those sessions, helping you navigate the ecosystem and get into the space. So you have the opportunity to pick our brains at every Thursdays during your weekly mentorship session. And finally, you have the Upwork optimization. So always remember, it's not about just you understanding Excel as a data analyst or Tableau or Power BI. It's about this, what you see on my screen, employability skills. Okay, if you don't have this, you are always going to struggle. All right, so Somebody like Sandra, you get into the program, you learn the skills, learning on the platform, self-paced, and you join the live classes. All right. You must build a portfolio. So as I'm saying all these things, I want you to think about what I'm saying, Sandra. Do you tick all these buckets? All right. You have the technical skills. I'm going to make that assumption. Do you have a portfolio? If you don't have a portfolio, that could be what is holding you back. All right. So not having a portfolio equates to two people, two carpenters. You want to buy a couch or build a couch. One carpenter has a certificate, a paper that says, I can build couches because I've gone to training on how to build couches. The other carpenter has a showroom to show you what they built. Come into my showroom, come and touch the couch, feel it, and see the quality. Who are you going to give that contract to build your couch? I'm not going to give the person that says I can do it, has a CV, has a certificate that says I can do it. No, you're going to give that person that can show you that they've done it before. And that's why you must have a portfolio. Okay, so I've kept the links to the portfolios right here. All right, so let me just open one of them very quickly and show you. So this is the portfolio for a data analyst. If I click on this, you'd see exactly what Victoria Uchemadu built, the project she worked on. And this is your portfolio. This is your showroom to welcome employers into that showroom so they can see what you have worked on, the quality of the work you've done. All right. So this is one project, Deep Care Hospital Analysis. And if I go into the project itself, I click on this, it takes me to what Victoria has built. Okay. And I can see clearly this is a dashboard built using Tableau. It is interactive, meaning that if I deselect something, let me deselect this, for example, everything goes blank. If I click on Q1, I want to see the number of patients that came into the emergency room, number of ER patients, the average age, average wait time. I can see that anybody who has built this using Tableau has very good skills in the use of Tableau. So I'm not going to guess before I hire Victoria. I can see what she has done. I can see what she's built. And this is the importance of having a portfolio. So ask yourself the question, do I have a portfolio? The answer is no, you must have a portfolio. Redux Airline analysis using Excel, Express Tech food delivery using Tableau, Nestle product analytics using Power BI, Zenith Electronics using SQL. So you must build a portfolio. Very, very important. Now, if you tick that box, I have a portfolio. Do you have the right CV? Is your LinkedIn optimized? And when I say optimized, it encompasses so many things. One mistake I see people make is you've learned data analytics, you've gone through a training, for example, and on your LinkedIn profile, I'm seeing different other job roles that make no sense or not relevant to the job you're trying to get. You're trying to get a data analyst role or a business intelligence analyst role. But what I see on your CV says project officer, or it says, accounts manager or banking officer, or customer service representative. Nobody's going to get you into that role as a data analyst. So what we show you how to do is to optimize your LinkedIn in a way that it communicates the same thing you have on your CV. Number one, your first experience is going to be Tenalytics, okay, on your LinkedIn. Tenalytics will be your experience. And what do I mean by that? And I'm going to show you practically very quickly. Yes, I know we don't have much time left, but I want to show you this because it's very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to search for one of our participants that got a job. So let me go to ICMAT, for example. Okay, let's go to, I think I'll use Oluwadamilare to, yes, Oluwadamilare very quickly. So all our participants that you see that have gotten jobs, one of the first things you'd see when you go to their experience is Tenalytics as their experience. So Oluwadamilare started this job in April 2024 in Leeds, in the UK, as a sustainability data analyst. His experience before that is what? Analytics. So you are projecting yourself to employers that you are currently doing the job. You are not new to it, you are doing the job. And that makes you more attractive out there. So if you don't have some, so what happens typically is the organization would reach out to us, request for a reference, we provide this for you. And this gives you that all the skills you've learned, the internship you've completed, would give you all the skills you need to do the job. People on the job probably don't even have the skills you have completing your internship and your training. So why undersell yourself? And these are some of the things you'd see out there. If you go to ICMAT as well, it's the same thing. All our participants, you'd see that they worked with us. So your experience would include analytics as a consultant or as a contractor. ICMAT works as an information analyst with the NHS. Her previous experience was what? Analytics as a data analyst. All of them. Okay. So, and that's the best thing you want to do. So ask yourself that question. Are you projecting yourself as a data analyst to get that job? Or are you projecting yourself in a different light? So Sandra, you need to ask yourself that question. Do you know how to navigate the job market? Do you have access to job boards that are not available to the public? Do you pay for any subscription for job websites? If you don't have access to it, do you have access from somewhere like Analytics? We provide these jobs to you that are not available to the public. You have to pay for it, but we have paid and we make that available to you. When you have an interview, do you have somebody to prepare you for interviews? Do you have somebody to provide a reference for you when you have an offer? And do you have somebody to work with you on the job when you eventually get the job? Are you in a community to network and get, insights to opportunities available? Network with your contemporaries in the UK, in Canada, trying to achieve the same objective. Do you have a mentor you can reach out to when you have a problem? These are the things that get you the job, okay? And these are the things we prepare you for at Analytics. Okay, now to wrap up our session, I'll just, move over to what does it take for you to get started? I'm not going to bore you with other, testimonials. There are numerous testimonials. This is Busola, who joined us in March. Busola got a job 4 months after completing her program. She moved to Canada. She got this job, joined us in March 2024, got this job, I think, in June or July this year as well. And that's her sending me an email after securing the job. Ramat works as a customer. She used to work as a customer service professional. Today, she works with the NHS as a business architect with the NHS in the UK. Full visa sponsorship after completing our business analysis program. Sonia as well works with British American Tobacco in the UK as a HR analyst after completing our HR analytics program. Same with Adebisi, data engineer. He worked with Jaguar Land Rover, moved from Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry, currently works with QuantSpark in London as a data engineer, and numerous other professionals like that. Our next cohort starts on the 5th of October. And you have the unique opportunity of being a part of this cohort. Now, the beauty of being a part of this cohort is a lot of organizations they would hire between the Ember months into the new year. So from September all the way till March, you will have a lot of hiring happening currently. So for those who start their journey in the month of October, by January, you're wrapping up your internship and your job application would have commenced at that point. So this is the best place, the best time for you to start. And what does it take you to be a part of all our cohorts, any of our cohorts coming up on the 5th of October? All the programs are the same fee, depending on the program you want to join. And this is where I have the amazing, amazing discounts for you. To join any of our programs, the first 20 people to be a part of any of the programs would enjoy a 20% discounts. So you want to get into the data analytics, the data science, the business analysis, cybersecurity, agile project management, you get a whopping 20% discounts as long as you're part of the first 20 people to register. Okay, so instead of paying $750, you get to pay just $600 to be a part of the program. Instead of paying £625, you get to pay just £500. Instead of paying 730 euros, you get to pay just 580. And if you're paying in Canadian dollars, instead of paying 1125, you get to pay just 900 Canadian dollars. So it's a whopping discount for the first 20 people. And this is the best time to start. Start now. I've worked with so many people since January. Same thing last year. You find yourself at the end of the year, I want to move away from my care job. I want to move away from my support worker job. I want to move away from this particular job, the warehouse job, and so on. How have you equipped yourself to compete for that job when it comes to 2025? How do you get the opportunities that you need? And guess what? A whole lot of our participants, majorly in the business analysis, data analytics, data science, you don't need to wait until the end of the program to start to apply. Once you are done with problem solving, you are done with Excel, and you've moved into Power BI, you start to apply to jobs because there are organizations that require the skills you have at that particular point in time. So applying to jobs would give you access to those. And I'll give a very quick, scenario. A lady, she joined us in the month of July, and by August, she was able to land a job as a program evaluation analyst here in Canada. Program evaluation analyst. She joined us in July. By August, she had gotten the job. And the reason why she was able to get that job was the job only required the use of Excel for the analysis. So between the month of July to August, she had completed her problem solving, she had completed her Excel, and she was able to get that job. Okay, I worked with her personally. Of course, she was a bit worried. Oh, Adeza, I'm just getting this job. I haven't even completed the program. And we worked with her, and that's what anybody can also do. All right. So the best time to start is now. I'm going to show you, for those who will be making payments, how do I go ahead and make payments? I'm going to walk you through the process very quickly. Now, all you need to do is pay on the website and start learning today. So the moment you make your payments, you get access to the platform and you can start watching your videos ahead of the class that starts on the 5th. So your first live class is on the 5th of October, but you can start watching your videos after you've completed your payment. As soon as your payment is confirmed, you're going to receive a welcome email with your login credentials into the platform. So once you click on this, it takes you into the website, okay? And all you need to do, okay, I'm going to use a different browser for this so that, okay, so I'm just going to show you again. Click on the link. It takes you into the website. Scroll all the way down. Look for the program you're interested in. Oh, I'm interested in business analysis, financial analytics, data analytics. So let's say you want to pay for the data analytics, for example. Come in here, click on view course details. So you have all the details of this particular program. You can download the brochure. You can see we currently have the discount ongoing, okay? Limited slots, you want to take advantage and be a part of the October cohort. You have the curriculum right here, okay? So you click on curriculum, you have problem solving, all the things you're going to learn, definition of problem statements, the Christian framework, the root cause analysis, issue tree, the McKinsey-Mason model, all of that, SQL, Microsoft Fabric, Tableau, every single thing you're going to learn, you have it right here. But how do you go ahead and enroll? You simply come to the right-hand side, click on what? Enroll now. Okay, so you'd first of all have to sign up. So once you come in here, I'm already subscribed, and that's why you can see my details right here, okay? But if you haven't subscribed, you would have to do what? Sign up, first of all. So you create an account on the website. So you enter your name, your email, phone number, and you can select the cohort you want to start. So the beauty is, some of you might not be able to start in October because you have other commitments. You can start in November, you can start in December, and you still maintain the discount available. And that's why you want to be one of the first 20 people to pay. So you come in here after you've created your account, you're going to get an OTP into your email, enter the OTP, and it opens you up into your dashboard, okay? Come in here, select the cohort. Let's say I want to start in the month of November. I can click on November cohort and click on what? Proceed to payment. And this takes me to open the checkout for me to complete my payment, okay? Now, we implemented something that enables you make payments in 3 different options, depending on your preference. So you can do a one-time payment, okay? You pay $600, that's the discounted fee. Instead of $750, you pay $600. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the UK, you pay $600. You could be in somewhere around Europe. You get debited based on your local currency, okay? Now, you can make payments in 2 installments of $300 to get into the program and $300 a month after. Or better still, you can make payments in 3 monthly installments. So let's assume I want to make payments in 3 installments. I come in here, I click on this, and I click on proceed to pay. So here, I'm going to pay $200 today, all right? On the 21st of October, 1 month after, I pay another $200, and the third payment would come in on the 21st of November. And once I click on proceed, I enter my details and I'm able to make my payments. So once you are able to make payments, you have access to the dashboard, all right? And that's how you get to pay. Now, once you complete your sign up, it might bring you straight to the dashboard automatically. So you can see the different programs and so on. Here, you can come in here to courses, go to instructor-led, you can see all the programs. You click on the program you'd like to make payment for and go ahead and make your payment. But let me walk you through the platform itself, the paid platform. Let's assume you've made payments. I'll show you what the platform looks like. So once you've made payments, you'd see your name. Welcome back, Sandra. Welcome back, Adeza, depending. You'd see the program you have paid for. So let's assume you've made payment for business analysis, all right? You'd see business analysis. Once you click on continue learning, you have your structured course breakdown. So this is where you watch your videos at your convenience. You don't need to, every Sundays, you don't need to join a live class. If you want to watch on Monday, Tuesday, at your convenience, it's a self-paced approach. You get to watch your videos on the platform, okay? So once you make payments, you have access to start watching ahead of the live class on Saturday, the 5th of October. So let's take, for example, Power BI. So you see, you start with introduction, where you have your installations, all the tools you need to install, your Microsoft Office, Power BI on Windows, Power BI for Mac, your PostgreSQL for your SQL, you have everything here. Excel for analytics, you have all your videos here. Power BI. And when I say you have project-based way of learning, so you have your Power BI, you watch your videos, and you are able to do what? You're able to build a dashboard. So on your own, you watch, let's click on this, for example, creating a dashboard template. So you're going to learn how to create a template, okay? When building a dashboard, how do you create a template? So from building the template to what? Building the final dashboard. So let's look at what the final dashboard looks like. So here you are able to build a dashboard that looks like this. So as a business analyst, you are building amazing stuff. And this is you watching your videos at your own convenience. But now when it comes to the live classes, how do you attend your live classes? I'm also going to show you. So this is your dashboard. Once you are done with a particular module, you have assessments and quizzes. So you need to watch your videos, complete your videos before you can take the assessments to measure your level of progress and so on and so forth. Now, Going back to the dashboard, you have an interview coming up. All you have to do is come in here to the dashboard and click on what? Schedule interview appointments. So once you click on schedule appointments, it takes you to which program did you register for, or which interview do you have. You can be a business analyst and there's an interview for maybe a project management role or a data analyst role, and you have experience in that aspect before. So you can come in here, select the area. So let's say business analysis, I click on next, and there are Calendly links. So I can click on this, it takes me to a Calendly link. I'm able to select a time that is favorable for me. I select a date, I select a time, and I'm able to fill this, enter my name, enter my email, and I'm also able to provide details of the job description, the job title, the company name, and the interview dates, okay? And somebody would meet with you to prepare you for that interview. All right, you want to request for a reference letter. All you have to do is come in here, click on reference letter, and that's what you have. You have an AI chatbot. So you're in data engineering and you've written a code, you are getting errors. You can copy that code and come to Oluko. Oluko is our AI trainer. Okay, come to Oluko, enter your name. All right, so if I enter my name is Adeza. Click on submit. It would ask me, what exactly do I want? Is it a career-related question, course content explanation? Is it a code-based issue? So let's take, for example, I'm writing a Python code as a data scientist or as a data engineer, and I'm getting errors. I click on code-based issues. And Oluko would ask me, I should copy and drop my code in here. At the moment I copy and drop my code giving me errors, Oluko would give me the solution on what to do. And for those of you who are Yorubas, I'm sure you know what Oluko means. Oluko simply means teacher, and that's the name of our AI trainer. So every single thing you need, you have it right here on the LMS. Now your live classes. Your live classes are taken on this platform, okay? So all you have to do, let's say you are in business analysis, for example, or you are in data analytics. So let's go to those who started in August. So cohort C2408, you can see that 2024-08 is for August. So we go to the class, and when I say the class is project-based, this is what I mean. Every single thing you do is what? You work on that with projects. So you're building projects, you're uploading it to your portfolio as you move along. So you have your important materials, you have your jobs, the jobs that we post to you every single week. So you come in here, you click on this, you have access to those jobs. We provide those jobs to you for you to go ahead and apply. Like I said, these are jobs you'll never find on LinkedIn, you'll never find on Glassdoor. They are jobs from paid platforms. Visa-sponsored jobs, jobs that enables you to get those opportunities the fastest compared to others who are trying to get it on free platforms, okay? So you have your CV templates during your CV review sessions and all of that. You have your employability session, okay? LinkedIn optimization, where you have a live class. You'll be shown what to do on your LinkedIn. You have your mentorship sessions every single Thursdays. You have sessions for mentorship, interview simulation. This mentorship session was a recruitment series, and this is where you have all your live classes utilizing AI for job application. This particular session entails the use of our Oluko, the AI trainer, the use of ChatGPT, the use of job analytics, the use of job scan in order to apply to jobs and secure those jobs. Okay, now let's go to one class, one live class. All right, so this particular class, week 6, is building your dashboard. Okay, so if you go to the class material, what do I mean when I say your classes are project-based? So this particular class is on building your dashboard. We are not just building dashboard, right, from nothing. We are working for a company called Soda Spark Beverages. Soda Spark Beverages is an organization that exists but the name has been changed. The data has been changed for data privacy. So you work with this company within the FMCG space. And what are you doing? You are a data analyst collaborating with the business to help them improve profitability, enhance distribution efficiency, and also improve their marketing efforts. And the way you are going to do this is by leveraging the data that they have. So you're going to use Power BI to solve this problem for them. And every single class is project-based. If you miss a class, the recording is always available for you. So if you come in here, click on your class recording, you have access and you are able to watch every single thing that happened in class on that particular day. So this is Power BI. You have the opportunity to stop and ask questions, work together with your trainer. If you're solving the same thing, oh, I've tried this, mine is giving me a different result. What do I need to do? And you have instant feedback on what you need to get done. All right. So this is a live class where you build slowly, steadily, answering that question in a project-based environment. All right. So you never miss anything at the end of the day. Okay. If you go to dashboarding using Excel, it's pretty much the same thing. If you go to your class material, you'd see that it is also case study based. It is what? Case study based for a company called Smart Insights Corporation, I beg your pardon. And then you have an Excel case study. This is a project where, as a data analyst, you have to develop a comprehensive dashboard for Smart Insights Corp that provides a detailed view of sales performance over the last 2 years. You have key features to look at, and eventually you're able to build something that looks like this. So all your classes, your live classes are on this platform, and you have your Watch Me Do It self-paced classes on the LMS. So it's a blended learning approach for you with all the support that you need to thrive. Time is fast spent. I'm going to take a few questions I have in the chat. How long does the mentorship last after the program? The mentorship, apart from the business analysis career path and the data engineering career path, these two career paths have 2 months internship. Okay, but all other programs have 1 month internship. All right, so I'm just going to check through the charts to see questions. Can I pay with 3 installments? Absolutely. I think I showed you how to get that done earlier. You can pay using 3 installments by simply using the link. You'd see once you select your cohorts, after clicking on the link, you sign up on the website, you select your cohorts, click on proceed to payment, open checkout. All right, you'd see the program you've selected and you can see the tranches. Okay, you can pay 1 full-time payment, 2 payments, or 3 payments. All right, and this gives you the flexibility in being a part of the program. All the programs have internships, Abraham, all of them. Like I said, the internship is where you get to build your portfolio. We simulate the real world experience for you. Okay, we're going to have a clarity session because one of the questions we usually get is, oh, I am a banker. I have 15 years experience. I'm in the UK. My wife is doing her master's. I'm a dependent and I want to get a job as a data scientist. Can I actually learn data science? Okay, based on this is my educational background, my previous work experience. So we have a closed group session with fewer people where we get to answer those questions for you. But the best thing you can do is take advantage of the discounts, secure your slots. At the end of the session, you're going to get the recording, you're going to get emails with a link for you to get into the clarity session. So if you're in a WhatsApp group, you joined the session, you saw the link in a WhatsApp group, Analytics community, you will get all the information that you need in that community. Okay, let me see if we have more questions. The price on your page is $600. Yes, it's $600 TS, but you can make the payments in 3 installments, just like I've shown you. Every month, break it into 3 installments. All right. Do I need to write the amount of salary earned from my previous job or indicate it with zeros? Never give anybody your previous job salary. You are shooting yourself on the foot if you do that. Okay, never do that. All right. So I'm going to call it a day at this point in time. Before I wrap it up today, I'd like to get to hear from you. If you had an amazing time today, type in a yes into the chat. Type in a yes into the chat. If you had an amazing time today, type in a yes into the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Wellington is asking, for the work experience working with Analytics, once the program is done, can we just keep Analytics as our most recent employer instead of October to February? We can say, absolutely. It all depends on you. So if you go to some of our participants who have gotten jobs already, okay, you still see they haven't updated their LinkedIn because what they want to achieve, they've achieved it already. So they even forget to update their LinkedIn. And the most recent job you'd see there is still Analytics. And I'll give you a very good example of that. Okay. Remember, the discount is for the first 20 people. So take advantage of the discount. So let me give you a very quick example for the person who asked that question. So if I go back to LinkedIn very quickly, and I go to Ngozi. Remember Ngozi? Let me show you Ngozi before I go to her LinkedIn profile. Okay. This is Ngozi right here. So if you remember Ngozi, Ngozi recently got a job as a business analyst. Ngozi Aderemi got a job as a business analyst recently after completing our program. If you go to her LinkedIn, she's not updated it yet, because guess what? I've gotten a job already, and that's what I've been looking for. So if I go to Ngozi Aderemi, again, this was where she posted her certificates. All right. So this is Ngozi saying, I bless God for progress. All right. She just completed her business analyst program, a business analysis program with us. And you can see Analytics, she completed the program. And this is Ngozi. Let's look at her profile very quickly. That's Ngozi right there, Ngozi Aderemi. And you'd see her most recent job is still with Analytics. But guess what? She's currently working as a business analyst in the UK out of Huddersfield, working for a company in the UK. So that directly answers your question for the gentleman who asked the other time. Okay. Somebody's asking, do you do project planning, project management? Absolutely. Agile project management. Agile project management. Okay. Agile project management. Can I pay for the DE program and also get to participate in the DS class? No, you can't do that, Emmanuel. If you want to pay, if you want to join the data science program, you have to pay for data science because you have different classes, different facilitators, different curriculum entirely. Okay, so you'd have to pay for the two to be a part of it. All right. So I'm going to call it a day at this point in time. Don't forget, guys, take advantage of the discount. The next cohort, the first live class would start on the 5th of October, 2024. Take advantage of the discounts, key in, and let's work with you to get you started in your journey to become a tech professional across your different regions. This is Ebube. Ebube got a job as a data scientist with the NHS. You'd see her badge. She was super excited, sent us a message, her first proper job in the UK. And I'm sure for those in the UK, you know what that means. She's done so many different things, joined our data science program, and Ebube got a job with the NHS after completing. My first proper job after training with Analytics. Wisling got a job with Shell in the UK as a sales analyst after completing our data analytics program. This is Vivian, who got 3 offers and sent an email to Efemena, the co-founder, saying that I have 3 offers from PwC, Asset Risk Consultant, and Julius Baer, one of the players in the banking space. And she went with the banking player, that's Julius Baer, because the offer was great, the pay was great, and the benefits as well. Okay, so many professionals and so many success stories. So once you get the slides, ensure you listen to the success stories of these people. Listen to Tony. Tony also works with the NHS as a benefits analyst. She joined our data analytics program, got a job with the NHS as a benefits analyst. So I'm going to play, I think I'll just play Tony's video to wrap up our session today. And as we listen to Tony, I want you to listen to her and get to see how she was able to make the journey, succeed in her journey of becoming a visa-sponsored professional, Tier 2 skilled worker visa sponsored by the NHS. So let's listen to Tony very quickly as we wrap up our session today.
If you're somebody struggling to coordinate.
Okay, I'll just wait for the adverts to stop and then I'll unmute so we can hear from Tony, and then we wrap up for today.
Hello everyone, my name is Toyin and I recently got a job as a benefits analyst in the UK. I've come from a medical background as a pharmacist who is interested in, breaking into tech. My first encounter with analytics was on LinkedIn. I joined one of their masterclass, just one masterclass where Efemina spoke, and it just took that masterclass to convince me. I joined in August, and a month after, I got a job. To be honest with you, every information skill that I was able to apply to get that job, I owe it to Tenalytics. Tenalytics did a great job and is still doing a great job. They groom you and nurture you from the cradle till you become confident. So my advice for you, most importantly, is join. Be integrated into a platform that empowers you and allows you to easily get that first job.
Okay, so that's Tony. At the end of today's session, guys, I want everybody to go to YouTube, subscribe to Tenalytics YouTube channel. It also gives you access to all the different free sessions we've had over the last 4 years. Okay, if you go to the Tenalytics platform, make sure you subscribe, go to videos, and you'd see all the sessions we've had. This is a gentleman who got a job as a data scientist after completing his training with us. You also get to listen to 2 professionals who got jobs after training with us. You can watch videos on how to select a career path between a business analyst and a data analyst held by ISOSA. That was yesterday on Friday. You can also get to watch amazing sessions. Efemena, why Africans in the UK, US often face challenges in securing high-level jobs. Okay, so you have the opportunity to watch all these videos for free, get to see, and even get to learn 4 years worth of content. And if you want to listen to success stories, go to playlists. Okay, go to playlists, and then you see testimonials. Click on what? View full list, or just click on play all. Once you do that, it takes you to the testimonial videos. That's Ngozi right there. You can listen to Ngozi. You can listen to this gentleman. You can listen to Joel. You can listen to these financial analytics professionals who got jobs. This is Busola. You can listen to Bukola, and other professionals. You can listen to Vivian, Bola Joko, and so on and so forth. And I can bet you that you're going to get inspired by listening to these people. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, and see the amazing work we're doing. I'll be looking forward to working with every single one of you. Take advantage of the discount, and I'll look forward to working with you. You sent an email to us, Adebayo, you're going to get a response to that, okay? And we download the video I tried to make payments yesterday through Mainstack. I entered the one-time payment from $600 later through payment. So what you can do, Wellington, just send us a message. Okay. So once you try to make payments and it doesn't go through, we see that you've had a failed transaction. So you're going to get contacted by the finance team, or what you can also do easily is to reach out to us. I'll share the numbers very quickly with you. You can reach out to us on any of these numbers, or send us a message on any of these numbers, or send us an email. Okay, so you can speak to Shay on +1 236 613 3058. You can speak to Lydia on +1 226 828 3612. You can also send us a message on this number. You receive a WhatsApp message, somebody will reach out to you, or you can also interact with us on WhatsApp on +1 647 493 9382, or send us an email to enquiries@10analytics.io, and that will be addressed for you. Or you can simply just go to the website. You also have About Us, go to Contact, and you have access to all these details right here. Okay, so but I'm going to make it, I'll take note of your name very quickly, Wellington Idialu. Okay, so I'm going to reach out to you, Wellington, and ensure that we're able to get that sorted out for you. Can one switch classes in the training? You have a 2 weeks window, 2-week window, I beg your pardon. So once you start, you can start with data analytics. First week, second week, and at the end of the second week, you decide that, I think I want to go to data science. Yes, you can switch. But after 2 weeks, you really can't switch programs again. So you have that leeway to switch within 2 weeks, done. Okay, to switch within 2 weeks, done. All right. So thank you very much, guys. I'll look forward to those of you that will join us during the clarity session on Tuesday. Okay, secure your slot, secure the discounts. Join us in the clarity session if you have questions. We're going to have 2 slots, one in the afternoon for those in the UK, the US, in the UK, Africa, similar time zone, Europe, and so on, and another one for those in the US or Canada. So follow us across all platforms. You'll receive the link in your WhatsApp community. You'll receive that in your email as well. And you'll have access to all the materials I've shared today. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Have an amazing Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you getting your journey started. Cheers, everyone.